Welcome back to Missing People in America. Today we are here with the mother of Danielle Lopez, who went missing in Woodland Township, New Jersey on April 13th, 2024. Can you tell us a little bit about Danielle?
Danielle, Danielle, bold, bright, beautiful, um, kind, family, very important, always loyal, always loyal.
And can you tell us about her disappearance?
I spoke with Danielle on Friday night, April 12th. We spoke often. Um, she said she was camping. I asked her, was she warm? Why she was camping? She said there was an eclipse. Um, I've later found out that probably was more to that than what was led on at the time. But we spoke, normal conversation, prayed with her. We always prayed. I told her I loved her and we talked soon, and I've never heard from her again. I wasn't able to reach her after that. I tried and tried every day, many times. Um, but when I learned from a mutual friend that she hadn't been seen with her boyfriend who she was camping with, she hadn't been seen or reported missing, I called the missing persons hotline and reported her missing. There were fires in the forest that day. Now it's coming up on a year.
Now, she was seen at Wawa that next morning. Was she seen uh, anywhere else that day?
She was. She, she's had a shared Wawa card with me since she was in high school, just in case there was emergency gas money, anything like that needed. She got a cup of coffee. Usually she didn't use it often, but if she did, there'd be Wawa sandwiches and coffees and whatever. But there was just a cup of coffee. That was at 9 o'clock in the morning. Later that day, um, she was spotted on a GoPro, a mounted camera on a dashboard of a vehicle in the forest, trying to get to Lake Oswego. She had an encounter with the GoPro people while she was driving, checked, got out of the car, checked with their GPS system to show that she was going the right way. They assured her she was, and they went on their way in the opposite direction, and she went on towards Lake Oswego. It's a loop. It's a popular loop for hiking and just people visiting the Pinelands. Um, about an hour and a half later, they were coming back through the loop and saw her walking. Um, she said, "What do I do? I got my car stuck in one of the huge puddles." Um, she had tried to navigate around it, but wasn't successful, and the car became disabled in a puddle. She was, it's hard to have cell phone service in that forest, depending on your carrier. So she probably had no cell phone service and was walking still towards Lake Oswego in hopes of getting better service. They told her they couldn't help her. They didn't have anything to pull the car out with or push it out with. They said they would go on up ahead, check it out, and come right back. They never did. They continued on and never went back to check on her.
Did they say if she was alone both of those encounters?
I saw the video. She was alone both of those times. Yes. Um, she was completely alone. Had they, if they weren't able to render any help, had they even just called the park rangers or the 911 and said there was a female in trouble out there, it'd be a different investigation right now.
Now, she went camp. Oh, go ahead.
The last time that they did see her was about 10 minutes to 6, about 6:30 that night. Some people that came across her car, disabled in the puddle, put a winch on the car and pulled it out of the puddle in hopes that whoever's car it was would see that it was now clear from the puddle and come back to it. Again, that was just another opportunity for someone to have called in and said what was going on. If you see something, say something. And they didn't. It would be a different investigation had that been the case. So she was left twice with no resources, no way out.
And that was the last encounter with her or her vehicle that day.
Yes.
Now, her vehicle, how long did it take for someone else to find it since she never came back for it?
You mean for the police to find it?
Yes.
I believe the police found the car. They had the car by May 6th. I think it was early in May that they found her car. So no one had called or reported that the car was there, but when she was reported missing, and they did check the plates against whatever, that they realized it was her car. They told me this when they came to take DNA, collect DNA on the 6th of May. They found it May 1st. I'm sorry. They found the car on May 1st. So it took some time.
Do you know if they ever searched the vehicle or processed the vehicle for anything?
They did. The luminol fingerprints, they processed the car, but it had been out there for quite some time. So the scene was compromised.
And they didn't find anything?
They don't tell me.
Okay.
Yeah, she went camping with her boyfriend, correct?
Yes.
And has he said anything about why they separated?
I think she was just off for the day, seeing the lake. I don't know what his statements are when he finally did go to the police and report her missing. He was detained and has been in state prison since on charges unrelated to Danielle.
How was their relationship prior to her disappearance?
It wasn't good. There was several domestic incidences. That's why when she said she was camping, I've later been led to believe they were probably asked to leave his parents' house where they were living because of the domestic situation, but I don't think that resolved itself.
Did she go camping often, or was this something new for her?
It was something very new for her.
Okay.
I mean, as a child, we went camping. She's been camping. But no. I didn't know, but there are a lot of campers this time of year out there in the forest. I usually think of it more like June and July, something.
When it's warm.
Yeah.
Do you know if there were any searches done of the state park?
Oh, massive searches. Initially, the search area was led to the back of the campground. They put a lot of effort into that. That was before they knew of the GoPro surfacing, so they didn't know if the car was placed there as a distraction or if she actually drove there. So the initial searches were coordinated based on cell phone data, I believe, not hers, but cell phone data that led them to where they searched the back of the Brennan T. Byrne campground. After the GoPro video surfaced, foot search, drones, canines, horseback, extensive searches, boats, aqua marine units. The forest is thick at that time of year, and they they found nothing. That was in August. And another search, a huge search. I actually was there. They let me on site for some of that, which they typically don't. They brought in a huge command center, cell towers, hundreds of men and women. Again, canines, horses. That was primarily done where the car was located. They found nothing. More searches are planned. Still an active and ongoing investigation. Q Center Community United Effort has offered a reward. I have billboards donated. I do these podcasts. I try and get the information out there. Somebody knows something. I believe more than one person knows. Somebody knows something.
Did
Did
she
she have
have a cell phone with her?
She had her cell phone in her hand, but it's my belief, just based on when I've been out there. I have Verizon carrier. I have service while I'm out there, but AT&T does not. People that have AT&T, and that's what she had. So it is my belief that she did not. The police can't release any of that information to me at this time about her cell phone. But I believe she did not have cell phone communication at that time.
Do you know if it was ever pinged by the police department?
It was. They
And
just can't tell me.
right. Is the phone still missing?
The phone's still missing.
Is the phone still activated or has it been deactivated?
When I call it, it just is an automated message saying that the subscriber's not available. Again, that's all in the police hands as far as that goes. But every now and again, I do just call it.
And there's a detective on her case?
There's several. The major crimes unit of the New Jersey State Police has the investigation. They are working in conjunction with the missing persons unit and the search and rescue units.
And
No.
they stay in contact with you fairly regularly?
They're very good about responding. They just can't usually answer my questions because it's an active investigation, but they always respond pretty directly. I met with them last week just in wanting to see the GoPro video again. You don't grasp everything the first time or the second time, and each time I just look at it differently or try and hold on while watching it.
When you watched that video, did she seem like her normal self, or did she seem like she was upset or something?
So she was upset because she had her car stuck. In knowing Danielle, I could see just her body language. She was upset because she had gotten herself into a situation. Um, Her voice to me sounded hoarse, as if, you know, screaming. She actually says in their conversation, "I've been screaming this morning." Um, so there was probably something between she and her boyfriend, but she wasn't screaming at the lady at the Wawa, and she wasn't screaming at the GoPro people. The lady at the Wawa remembered her because she was just kind and bubbly and bright, and spoke at them more than just grab a coffee, just hi, good morning, have a good day kind of way she was. So she was very much still that way with interacting with the GoPro people. But she was upset. I don't think she knew quite what she got herself into.
Right. Now, her personal belongings, purse, wallet, all that, were they ever found?
Police, they she does they do not have like her identification or anything from the purse she had on at the Wawa, but they again won't give me inventory or let me see any of the things that they have of hers, because it's part of the investigation. So I run against that most of the time.
Right.
But I don't believe they have her ID or wallet.
Does she have any ties to any other cities or states?
No, didn't. Well, yes, Danielle was born and raised here in Westchester, Pennsylvania, where I live. In 2011, around 2011, she went to live with her grandfather after her grandmother had passed away. She was just more company, not a caregiver, but company for him. And was close to where her father lived. But she and her grandfather, they had a special bond. They traveled extensively and did a lot of things together. So they were very, very, very close. It's only a little more than an hour from here. So yeah, she's very got a lot of ties here in Westchester. I've been growing up here, but nowhere else. No,
Has there been any sightings or tips for Danielle since her disappearance?
no sightings. The tip line has had calls, but again, they don't tell me about them. They follow up with all of them. Um, it's not something that they let me know about. I do believe people have called in. I know some of them that have contacted me, having said that they've called in. Um, Danielle and I both suffered great loss in the loss of her two brothers, both my boys, in less than a year. And then, well, my oldest son died by suicide. My youngest son serving as a Marine. During COVID, she lost her grandfather. A month later, she lost her father. It's a lot of loss.
Right.
She she struggled with alcohol more than what I would have liked, but that was the one thing the police did tell me. She didn't buy any alcohol that day. They could answer that question for me. So
Do you know if her debit or credit cards have been used since?
has not been used.
Did she have any close friends that she would confide in or talk to often that noticed any changes in her at all?
No, they had a dog, Roscoe, and she primarily spent her time with Roscoe. That was her best friend. She could confide in Roscoe, and he relied on her. She took very, very good care of him. He passed from old age just a month before Danielle went missing. So again, I think he was a form of protection for her. But she didn't keep in touch with her friends as much as she used to. Um, Facebook and everybody's world going on as it does, she suffered a lot of loss, and Roscoe really was her primary focus. But we stayed in touch. There never would a year go by. It wouldn't be a week or a month that I didn't hear from her, whether good, bad, or indifferent. She would always stay in touch.
Was she diagnosed with any illnesses or take medication for anything?
No, she was a good student in school. She did well. She was doing pretty well financially when she was living with her grandfather, working, pretty successful, kept herself nice. Again, after the loss and this boyfriend being different than anyone she'd ever dated was concerning for me. She had resources after her father passed away, and she was not working. But it's hard for me to get back to work after that loss as well. But I did in hopes that she would too.
And how long were her and this boyfriend together before her disappearance?
6 years. 6 years. It was on again, off again relationship, if that's what you call it. I don't think it was healthy or good by any means.
I understand
Nothing.
you're not sure if he was interviewed or what was
He was
stated by.
interviewed he was interviewed at length. He was interviewed at length. Um, but ultimately was detained on a parole violation, not having had anything to do with Danielle, but I don't think he gave them any indication as to where Danielle is or what happened. They don't, he was polygraphed. They don't give me results of any of that. There were several people that they polygraphed, many people that they interviewed, including the people that towed the truck out, the GoPro people, associates of his.
Do you know if his parents were interviewed?
I do not know that. I do not know that. I know he has daughters that are just a few years younger than Danielle. And one of them in particular was interviewed, was brought in, again, given polygraphs. They don't, they can't tell me the results of any of them, and they're not admissible in court.
Right. Was anyone else with them while they were camping, or was it just them two?
It was just the two of them. Um, Apparently there had been the daughter and another friend by periodically, but just the two of them. She mentioned about a camper, someone that was across the way camping at the time, but no, it was just the two of them.
And did she get along with his daughters?
Danielle got along with everyone. I'm not so sure that they got along with Danielle or that they cared much for Danielle. There were a lot of situations with the daughters, but I I had spoken with the one daughter and Danielle just a couple weeks prior when they were at the house, and things seemed fine. They seemed okay. It's hard to tell from a phone conversation, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Do you have any questions?
Nope, I'm out.
Okay. Do you have a page set up for Danielle at all to where people
Okay.
can follow her story?
There is a page. It's Where is Danielle Lopez? I can I can share that page with you guys. They can People can also find me very easily on Facebook as well. I'm having a vigil for the 1 year anniversary on the 13th of April, just so we can pray for answers. It's,
Would you care to share where that will be at?
it's going to be here in Westchester at Christ Community Church, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We'll not light some candles, but use some battery operated candles and pray for her. I don't, yeah, I could go back and mention that there was a fraudulent GoFundMe page that was set up. And I believe that was by the boyfriend's daughter. It was very fraudulent. Unfortunately, the police can't shut anything like that down. Through the course of this year, I've been contacted by someone pretty nefarious claiming to have details and would provide whereabouts of Danielle, only to find out that that was a huge scam that happens to quite often to missing people's families, almost to the detail that they were describing of what had happened with Danielle. I was willing at that point to do whatever it took to get that information, only to be led down a pretty dark hole that that person um, they'll find their way in this world, but it wasn't true at all. None of what they had said was true. For other missing persons' families to know that those kinds of things exist, that's important to me because it was a tough time. So I didn't know, and almost to the letter of the wording had been done to other families that I found out.
Yeah, it is very common and very disheartening that somebody could do that to a family.
But I thought it would have really led to information I would have paid. But I was scammed pretty good. So I do like to make that as aware as I can for others to know that they, they will those scams come.
Hmm.
Seem very legitimate. They're very well worded, and it's unfortunate.
Now, what can the community do to help support you and bring awareness to Danielle's case?
Say your name. Um, I wish there was more things I could say that people could do. Prayer is always appreciated and heard. Um, there just isn't a whole lot, except if you're out there and you see this and you know something, or you know someone that does, please call the New Jersey State Police or the Q tip lines. You can even email. You can do it without being identified. Again, there is a reward being offered for right now, but just do the right thing. If anybody out there that's listening knows anyone or anything that could help, I just beg them to search their hearts and do the right thing.
Absolutely. And so we really appreciate you being her voice and speaking up and telling her story so that
I
we can
will
get.
not stop.
Yep, yep. Well, we will be here with you along the way if there's anything that we can do to help you.
Yeah, I wish I could say that there just there's power in prayer, so I'll take that for right now. But anyone that knows anything at all, someone knows something. There's no doubt someone knows something.
And speak up.
The same thing that if you ever come across a situation that you think, should I call and let someone know? Call, because this wouldn't be the same had the GoPro or the tow truck drivers called in and said anything. So if there's something in today's world, there's everything going on, and anything that you see that just doesn't seem right, no one gets in trouble for calling in and saying something. You just have regrets if you don't.
Absolutely.
Even if you already think they know, they might not, and that could be the
Yep.
piece that brings it all together.
Correct. Correct. In every situation, in every way, not just Danielle. Certainly, a female as it's about to get dark in a forest is that of itself alarming. But any situation where you get the chance to help someone, just do. If you can't physically do it yourself, just call 911 or call the authorities that can then check it out for someone. In the meantime, I'll just continue to be out there in the woods looking for answers. I thank you guys for covering this and telling Danielle's story.
We thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time and being her voice.
I can tell you, ever since she was little, she's just loud. She's vivacious. She loves to sing karaoke. And when I would say, Dan, you have to be quiet, she'd say, you didn't name me Dan Quiet, you named me Danielle. So that's yeah, that usually brings a chuckle. She went by D-Lo ever since there was a J-Lo. Danielle referred to herself as D-Lo, and I'm her mom, but she's just as bright and beautiful as J-Lo, and is known by many as D-Lo and uh, Danielle.
I love that.
I love
was
that. Is fantastic. Shows her personality.
Yes, it does.